Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. J. Paul Vanden Heuvel. Glad to be with you.
We're so excited. So say your full name one more time.
Yes, sir. It's J. Paul Vanden Heuvel, which is Dutch. A little different than it's spelled.
It is. And so we were actually last week in the office, we were talking about that, and we're grateful that you're here. And you know, we're going to cover really 3 simple questions and use this for many things, but also a lot of people are going to be seeing you actually live for the first time here in a little bit. But the first question, just so our people and people around the world get to know you, have many marketing aspects from social media to the Prife Pro app and really speaking at our live events. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, origin, that type of thing, and kind of what you've specialized in.
Well, I'll give you the short version, but I've been in medicine for over 45 years. I started out way back in the 80s. So yeah, I'm dating myself, but I started out in nursing. I worked in OR, and then working in the operating room, there was a day, and I always tell the story, and it's not the way things are today, but it sets the stage for how I got here. Working in surgery, we were doing a total abdominal hysterectomy, and it was my job to take this nice pink, beautiful excised uterus to pathology. And when I looked at it, I kind of noticed there wasn't really much wrong with it. And I made the mistake of turning around and asking the surgeon what was wrong with it. And he made a comment, basically a hysterectomy a day keeps a yacht in your bay. And it scared me because I realized that we may have been doing something unscrupulous. Now, that was 1984. It would never be that way today. But why am I telling you the story? Because it knocked me right between the eyes. It just hit me that I thought, you know, this isn't why I got into medicine. I got into medicine to help people. And then my father in 1990, he got what's called mesothelioma, which is a cancer normally in the lungs, but it got into what's called his mesothelium, which is a part of your abdomen, and basically spread to the liver. And they gave him about 6 months to live. That was 1990. And I started experimenting with herbs, and I started using antioxidants, something called pycnogenol. This comes from maritime pine bark. I was using shark cartilage, using 4 herbs that grow in a ditch, right? And I started giving him these things, and he got better. He had no other alternative. They told him to go home and die. 12 years later, he was still alive and cancer-free. So, you know, that's what got me here. I thought, wait a minute, there's got to be other options. So I started to learn about nature, naturopathy, and I went back to school. I ended up getting a PhD in traditional naturopathy. I got a PhD in holistic health, and I went on to get a PhD in integrative medicine. I also hold 2 doctorates and 4 boards and many other degrees. So thank you for saying, wow, I appreciate that, because it was a long road to get here. And that's the short version. But what it led me along was this whole idea of frequency, this whole idea of vibration, this whole idea of energy. Because in medical school, we're taught that basically you have one body. And when I started studying frequencies and vibrations, I realized that we have multiple bodies. I'm kind of like a Patch Adams, right? Dr. Patch Adams. I choose to see what no one else sees. I want to see the unseen. And that's where I've spent the majority of my life. I went on to learn about quantum physics. Even went to a quantum university. So I know the next field of medicine is going to be frequency. And that leads us into frequency healing.
So with that said, obviously, we're not the only company in the world who's really not just scratching the surface. We're diving down with advancing technology, terahertz, different things. And Prife really has known from these blowers, right? These devices. And, you know, the question really is, why, with that vast background, extensive knowledge, and you've been quite successful, books, I've actually been reading this one that you had, and a lot of our people will be able to get that and really learn from you. Why would you partner with Prife?
That's a great question, Jake. Thank you. I'll preface it a little bit. You know, frequency healing is what I just said, right? That refers to basically methods that enhance the body's ability to heal, whether that be light, frequency, sound, or electricity. So what was I looking for? I'm I'm looking for a company who's going to give me the biggest and the best, because I have and always will be a drugless practitioner. I'm a doctor of humanitarian medicine. I only want to use technologies that assist to heal the body itself and first do no harm. So when I looked around, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of companies out there, right? They're all selling something. And when you look at what's happening in frequency healing, that's projected to grow tenfold in the next 10 years. So I wanted to make sure that if I'm going to hitch my wagon to somebody, it has to be the best products that are out there, the best things I can find. And that's what led me to Prive. I understand there's important other things that go with that, like nutrition, detoxification, autophagy, right? We're going to talk about principles like that. But when I looked at the company, when I looked at the products, I want power. And I saw power. I saw the correct nanometers. I saw the right frequencies that were being exhibited, the infrared, terahertz. That got my attention. You don't just have one product here at Prive. You've got multiple products that can deal with things. And that's what drew me to you and the marketing plan.
Yeah, it is. So before we get to the last question, because we're spoiled because people in North America are going to be able to see you first here in a couple of weeks, live, right? And I don't want to get off. You and I have very similar aligning beliefs, not just on how people should be treated, but paying it back, paying it forward, coming from very humble beginnings and backgrounds. We're very similar in that. And I know you are very good at phrasing your words correctly, but in North America, pertaining to USA, there's a lot of news that's now happened, even just recently today, and kind of that fight with the pharmaceutical side of things, this new administration, and some of the stuff I really like. They're really kind of going after, the different dyes and stuff in our food, really trying to give us better options on the nutrition. From your aspect of 40 plus years, even the new Surgeon General, how long have you been waiting for this type of change?
Wow. My whole career. My whole career I've been against the stream, preaching about frequency and healing and nutrition and natural remedies, right? So when you ask that question, it makes me very emotional. And as a doctor, my products are an extension of my reputation, right? I'm not going to put my reputation to just any company. I want somebody that's going to provide exactly what I'm looking for and I got the right specs. But, when you look at the energy healing theory, which basically states regeneration is driven by cellular communication, not DNA. This is a topic I'm talking about, Leader Summit. You start understanding that we have to have a whole different way of helping the body help itself. And everyone, comes from a fertilized cell, right? And it ends up splitting into trillions and trillions of cells and turns into us. What creates that? Wavelengths, frequencies, vibration. And that's where medicine's going. As I said in the very beginning, the future in the field and the finality of medicine will be vibration, it will be frequency. So here it is. And I'm so excited that, the products are already well made. And all I got to do is use them. I can't wait to help explain them to you. That's really my job.